Happy Victory Monday, Who Dat Nation. We are live here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. We got some news, we got some free agency rumors, and we got some conversations to have right here, right now, around the black and gold. My name is Trizzy Trace Gerard. Thank you so much for tuning in live here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. If this is the first time you've tuned into our content, we go live on game days, we go live on Mondays, and we provide daily videos by Saints fans for Saints fans. So make sure you join the Golden Gang by subscribing today, turning on your notifications, and without further ado, give me a who dat in the comments section. Now I want to ask you in the chat, who should win Offensive Rookie of the Year? We've had some conversations here at the Chat Sports office. Some guys think it should be Tyler Shuck. Some guys think it should be Travion Henderson. Some guys think it should be Jackson Dart. Some guys think it should be Ashton Jeanty. Some guys think it should be Ted McMillan. I personally believe number 6 should be winning the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. But what do you think? I want to hear from you guys. I see I Love Football saying Tyler Shuck. Char is saying we getting shook tonight. We getting shook tonight. LSU guy says 6. Cairo says Tyler Shuck. D1 says Shuck. Dustin says Tyler Shuck. DR says 6. Nola Chop Podcast 6. Char says 6. I see D1 Jag says who dat. Good to see you, brother. Make sure you get in the live chat if you want to get a shout out when the audience build-up portion of today's video as we bring in Loco Lopez here in just a second. MK Youngblood, Tyler Shuck if he plays an average game against Atlanta. Don't disagree there. Jerry G in the chat as always. Don't forget, by the way, to hit the thumbs up icon and like this video so that way you can find our Saints content even easier and that way other fans can find the videos as well. It's kind of like spreading the love, if you will. And we got Jerry G, Young City Ninth Ward, I see you in the chat. Brax, good to see you. HCR Productions, thank you for tuning in, my man. Appreciate every single one of you for rocking and rolling with us here in the live chat. We also are going to talk about some free agents that the New Orleans Saints will be having to make decisions on this upcoming offseason. We got a list of, I think it's 18 total free agents that we're going to talk about. So I want to ask you a question on a very, very important one. Alontae Taylor Lopez, what do you think? Should the Saints bring back Alontae Taylor, or should they let him walk in free agency?
We've been talking about culture this whole season, about building it and all that. Alontae Taylor's a culture guy.
Yeah.
He has helped develop the culture. He brings the energy in the back half of the defense.
Yep.
I don't know why we would let that walk.
Yeah.
Unless he's asking for like an absurd number, but I doubt that's the case.
I seriously think that there is going to be interest for Alontae Taylor. And to be totally honest, I would prefer to just go ahead and lock it down, give him the extension pretty quickly into the offseason, if not already. I think when you have a culture, like you're saying, you're trying to build that, why let a key piece of that leave? I also think that he's the chess piece in Brandon Staley's defense. I think that it is fair to say he hasn't been the most reliable, the most consistent, but he is ultra versatile. He can do a lot of different things at a very high level. So, I'm not going to sit here and say that I want to see Alontae Taylor play in another uniform. I would prefer to keep him around if we can. There's also a fight breaking out at the Birmingham Bowl between App State and Georgia Southern.
Hell yeah. Play with some passion.
Yeah,
boys.
bowl season. People say bowl games are losing their luster. Fake news.
Bowl followed by Bulls getting in fights. Who says it's dead?
Yeah, fake news. We got 6-6 Georgia Southern fighting 5-7 App State. That's electric.
How did App State get here? I thought you had to have 6 wins.
Maybe somebody opted out. I don't know.
Notre Dame did it again.
Yeah, Notre Dame screwed him. A lot of people in the chat are saying pay that man. Banter, D1 Jag, LSU guy says run it back. Marcelo says keep him. Chris Holder says Tyler Shuck is the GOAT. Mike Nintendo Master is getting in the chat. Mike Nintendo Master says he should walk because he's not a Saints fan. He wants to see him play for his team. If you picked walk, let us know why from Jerry G. Yeah, Mike Nintendo Master. Jerry G wants to know why.
And it better just not be
Because
I don't like the Saints. Give us a real
Offensive Rookie of the Year will be a defensive guy. It won't be 6. So the Offensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to an offensive player. The Defensive Player of the Year is going to go to a defensive player, Mike. David Charlie says pay him. Your boy Dwayne says pay him, Shuck, letting him walk. Yeah, shuck it, man. You got to pay Alontae Taylor. I'm totally with you. We have almost 100 votes on our poll. If you haven't already, make sure you vote in the live poll as well. Would you bring back Alontae Taylor? Yes or no? 93% is saying yes.
The real
Alrighty.
ball knowers are hitting yes.
Do what?
The real ball knowers are saying yes.
No doubt whatsoever. Who's Shuck's best comparison? I think Josh Allen has a little bit of Tyler Shuck in his game, if you will. Alrighty, we are going to be doing a mailbag later on in the video, so if you guys would like to be featured on the show, #Saints. If you want to skip the line and spend a few extra minutes going a little bit further detail on your questions, feel free to send in a super chat. It does help support the show, helps us get even more fun things happening around our studio and around our show and around the Chat Sports office as a whole. So don't feel like you have to. If you want to just send in a #Saints, include your question, a hot take, a trade idea, a draft prospect, anything like that, we'll have a conversation. But like I said, if you want to skip the line and go even further in depth, send in a super chat and we can make that happen. A lot of people are saying pay Alontae Taylor. There's an argument that Tyler Shuck has played easier teams than Spencer Rattler. Rattler would have had more, if not the same as result as Shuck.
We watched that for the first 8 games. That it was false. We didn't have this.
Like, we always knew that the back half of the season was going to be easier. That's not like a revelation that's recently been made. That's always been the case when you looked at the schedule.
But it's also not like Spencer Rattler had the most difficult.
Last 6 quarters that Spencer Rattler played, he had 6 turnovers. Last 6 quarters of real football, not going in and throwing 2 passes against Carolina or whatever. Or Tampa, whoever it was. I'm not getting dog on Spencer Rattler because that's not what we do here, but Tyler Shuck is very clearly the better quarterback. And if you're a Rattler truther, I'm not going to tell you to change your mind, but I will tell you, I think you're going to be very disappointed to not see him be a starter anytime soon. Joe Payne, good to see you, brother. I see D1 Jag, Eric. I see Jerry G, Mike Nintendo Massacre. Eric says the receivers were playing trash. I think part of that is because Tyler Shuck throws a more catchable ball. I think that part of the reason that Spencer Rattler did have so many issues with drops is that
the receivers right now.
Yeah.
Who do we have
yeah,
now?
Who the hell is he throwing the ball to now? Spencer Rattler had Brandon Cooks, Chris Olave, Juwan Johnson, Rashid Shaheed. He had Devon Bailey, had all those available. Tyler Shuck is turning, as Jono Barnes would say, friend of the program, chicken shit into chicken salad. Come on. Do you think going into next year we will be good? Braxton, I think that we're going to be great next year. I really do think, it's fair to say this team could win 10 games next year. Like, I don't think that's an outlandish thing to say.
Looking at who they're going to play schedule-wise, it's not going to be a difficult schedule.
No, they're not going to have
schedule.
Exactly. They're not going to have the hardest schedule in the whole wide world. So, Braxton, I'm not going to sit here and say that they're going to have a tough time next year. I think that this is going to be a good team next year. LSU guy, I would love Brian Thomas Jr. to the Saints. That would be a really fun addition. I've talked about it on the channel. I broke down the possibility, what it would cost, why the Saints should do it, why they should potentially avoid it. I think it's one of those moves where if you do it, I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm not going to be upset about it. It's definitely going to bring some juice to the team. But I also do not mind whatsoever just using my draft picks on younger players and just continuing to build this thing from the ground up. BTJ is a good player, though, man. He's an LSU guy, Louisiana native. That'd be fun to have back at the boot. But I also think it's one of the things you have to consider. Takes 2 to tango. Jags did extend Jacoby Myers, so there's a conversation to be had. We'll see what happens. We'll have to see what happens. Do you think that the Jags would actually consider trading Brian Thomas Jr.?
If you would have asked me this time last year, I would say hell no. He's looking like the receiver of the future over there.
Yeah.
You just re-signed Jacoby Myers or extended Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter's coming back next year. Is he going to be your wide receiver too? He was not looking bad when he was on the field.
Yeah, it's a good point. You got to consider Travis Hunter as an option too. Yeah, it's a very good point.
Like, you can't pay everybody, and Brian Thomas did have a down year. Not going to say he's going to come here and just have a resurgence. I hope he does. I hope that's the case. But he's not a guaranteed product right now.
Yep. I don't disagree with that whatsoever. I wouldn't be mad if they did it. Wouldn't be upset if they didn't. I do think that you need to prioritize adding another wide receiver this offseason, though. And somebody who's complimentary to Chris Olave. Somebody who can be complimentary to him. Devon Bailey, good player as well. Like him a lot, but, we're going to have some fun with it.
Do we need a big body receiver anymore?
I don't think it's as big of a need.
I'm not saying Devon Bailey is the greatest receiver of all time, but with what we've seen,
I'm going to sit here and say that it's not as big of a need as we thought it was 6 weeks ago. I think 6 weeks ago, I was like, you have to get a Carnell Taylor. You're screwed. I think now you can kind of sit here and say, Bailey is fine. Maybe go get a speedster. Maybe go get somebody who can replace the Rashid Shaheed. Yeah, like you got to get some sort of receiver. You just got to add bodies to the room. To be honest,
Yeah,
like that's kind of the big thing. You just need more talent. You need more depth. Like it's not that you have bad players when they're there. We're gonna have this actually conversation here in a minute. Pretty good segue, Lopez. Yeah. But I do think when it comes to next year, you got to still add a receiver. That being said, I'm not going to sit here and say you need to go and make it the first move you do. Like that, I don't think you need to sprint to go and add one. But still, a move that I would make. Whether it's draft, free agency, trade, I don't care. Just add a receiver. Preferably a draft one. That's just me, though. All righty, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start this content off. We're going to start off this live show. My name is Trizzy Trace Gerard. You're watching Saints Now. It is time to break it on down. We're going to start the show off talking about Chris Olave and how Saints fans have finally been getting the news they've been waiting for. Then we're going to dive into the list of 2026 free agents. I'm going to go through the players that I would bring back. And then we will get into some rumors around Breece Hall potentially joining the New Orleans Saints, and we'll answer your questions. My name is Trizzy for Loco Lopez. Thank you so much for tuning into Saints Now. And Lopez, whenever you're ready, my friend, let's get after it now. Saints fans finally get the news they've been waiting for around wide receiver Chris Olave. My name is Trizzy Trace Gerard. You're watching Saints Now by Chat Sports. Number 12 has officially broken out. He is taking over the league and becoming a premier wide receiver. Don't believe me? Well, I'm going to convince you with this video. Chris Olave has turned into a premier talent for the New Orleans Saints and across the entire National Football League. And I think when you consider what he's done throughout the duration of his entire career, 2 seasons, he started off back-to-back years with over 1,000 yards. He had last year where there was a lot of injury issues, but then bounces back this year in such an impressive way that Saints fans should be thrilled and excited and ecstatic to get into next season. You can tell that there's very obvious trust and chemistry between number 12 and number 6. Tyler Shuck has really opened up and elevated Chris Olave in a big way. And fun fact, he is actually the second player in Saints history to log 100 catches in a single season. The only other guy, Michael Thomas, he did it a couple times, but Chris Olave joining pretty elite company. And in terms of the statistics, you can tell that he has been on fire. At the beginning of the season, there were some drop issues, and you could tell that he was kind of hot and cold, but man, over the last few weeks, he has really taken over in a big way. Multiple games with over 100 yards. He has season highs and career highs in catches, in yards, in touchdowns. He has been truly phenomenal. And in case you didn't know, he has potential history to be made this upcoming week against the Atlanta Falcons. If he logs 1 touchdown, he could be the first player in franchise history to log 100 catches, 1,000 yards, and 10 touchdowns in a single season. Isn't that insane? That's crazy to think that he could be the first player in franchise history to ever do that. And whether you believe he has better with Spencer Rattler, he was better with Tyler Shuck, it doesn't really matter because number 12 has taken over and he has been dominant. And I talked about him being a premier player in the National Football League. And I know a lot of y'all are scoffing at that saying, no, he's not. Well, hold on. Hold your horses there, bucko. Top 10 in all major statistical categories. 4th in targets. 6th in catches. 7th in yards. Tied for 7th in touchdowns. Chris Olave is a top 10 wide receiver. Chris Olave will be earning himself a big paycheck very, very soon. It is safe to say that he earned himself a lot of money this season. And I think over the last few weeks, he's earned himself a lot of money, especially since Tyler Shuck took over and you saw that this quarterback and this receiver were a duo that you could win and succeed with. I truly do think with Chris Olave, he has earned some money that's upwards of the Devontae Smith contracts. He is going, not Devontae Smith, he's going to be getting A.J. Brown. He's going to be getting top 10 wide receiver money. Like, I honestly don't even know where to put the pinpoint at because it's going to cost the Saints some cash, but I don't think that's a problem. Invest in the player. Give him the opportunity to succeed and build around him and continue building this thing. He wants to be in New Orleans. He's excited to be here, and I'm really excited for the future of Chris Olave. Show him some love in the comment section. Type those 12s in the chat. If you're a diehard Saints fan and you want to show some love to wide receiver 1, type those 12s down below. And we're going to continue this conversation because I believe that Tyler Shough and Chris Olave are a match made in heaven, and I'm going to explain my case in just 1 second. First things first, got to thank today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like making decisions but want to make money doing it, we make them every day. Might as well cash in. We got a sweet deal for you over at Prize Picks. If you download the app, use our promo code CLNS, you'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Find your community on Prize Picks. With the new social feeds feature, you can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups from winners with a single click. Copy lineups you like or use them as inspiration for your own picks. You can even follow Prize Picks partners like us and tail or fade our selections with just 1 click. And on Prize Picks, how you play is up to you. If you want the flexibility, choose Flex Play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the Power Play. No matter how you like to play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your ball knowledge to the test. And here's the thing. I want Tyler Shough to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I am prize picking it into existence. We're projecting it. We're going to make it a reality. I'm taking the less on Ted McMillan and the more on Tyler Shough. So if you want to help me help Tyler Shough win the Offensive Rookie of the Year, follow me on this Prize Picks. I think this is a really good one to do. Plus, you'll be winning some real money in real time, and I highly encourage you to do that. By downloading the Prize Picks app, use our promo code CLNS. You'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. Click the link down below in the comments or description if you want to get started and take advantage of our sweet deal. $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup with promo code CLNS. Shout out to Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Tyler Shough and Chris Olave, as I said, I believe they are a match made in heaven. I think when it comes to how Tyler Shough has unlocked Chris Olave, I think a large part of that is because Kellen Moore is comfortable with Tyler Shough, and Tyler Shough is comfortable with Chris Olave. I think it's a little bit of a snowball effect or a domino effect, and you're seeing the emergence and the resurgence, I could also call it, of Chris Olave. And it's wild because he was considering retirement this offseason. Talk about a comeback. I mean, Chris Olave is putting up career numbers in a season where just a couple months ago he was considering retiring and hanging it up for good. And if you want to talk about a comeback player of the year, I think that is a name that should be in the mix. I don't know if he'll win it, but I think it's a name to consider. I think that he's a player that has surprised a lot of people. I think he's somebody that has been ultra reliable, ultra consistent, and he's truly and finally taken the step and taken that role of the wide receiver 1, and he's running with it. He's making plays all over the field. He's doing an excellent job of creating explosive plays. He's doing an excellent job of protecting himself. And that's something that I know a lot of fans are going to be critical of because it's like, oh, keep fighting for the extra yards. I have no problem with it. I actually appreciate Chris Olave for protecting himself. When he gets the play, he's going to try to get the extra yardage, but if it's not going to be worth it for an extra couple of feet, then, hey, go down and stay healthy because, quite frankly, you need him on the field. And Tyler Shough has been able to win with the help of Chris Olave, Juwan Johnson, and then the rest of the supporting cast that has been brought in and starting and elevated into an impactful role due to the injuries that have struck the offense. I'm really, really eager to see the vision next season for how Kellen Moore continues to construct this roster and how he builds for the offense. Because with Chris Olave, I think that he is a player who's now proving to be your bona fide wide receiver 1. So when you talk about what do you need in the wide receiver position, Lopez and I were even having this conversation on our live show. Do you need that big body wide receiver because you got Devon Vele? Do you need a speedster? Do you need somebody that's a little bit of a route technician? I mean, I'm really eager to see what Kellen Moore wants to do in terms of adding to the position. And in case you didn't know, you do have some pretty intriguing talent that you can roll with. Again, I'm not saying that you need to just go with this. Like, I personally think the Saints should be adding wide receivers, bring in competition, bring in some high-level talent. Why not? You need all the depth you can get. There's no such thing as too much wide receiver depth. But when you have Chris Olave, you get Devon Vele back, Mason Tipton, Bub Means, remember he went on IR in the preseason. He's somebody who's shown flashes throughout his young career. Jalen Polk, the Saints traded for him. Really, really excited to see what he does for this offense. Trey Palmer, a speedster that the Saints brought in through the waiver wire. I think he's somebody that can make an impact. And when it comes to this conversation around the wide receivers, I think you got your guy in Chris Olave in your wide receiver one. I think you got a really nice supporting role with Devon Vele. So with that, I can get why some people it's not as big of a need as offensive guard or as some edge rusher or as a running back or as a DB or as insert other position. I still think that Saints should prioritize a receiver this offseason. Add the complementary pieces. Add more weapons. There's no such thing as having too much wide receiver depth. There's no such thing as having too much wide receiver talent. There's no such thing as having too many weapons, too many options, too many game changers. There is no such thing as having too many options for Tyler Shuck to make plays. I think Chris Olave is one hell of an option, but I would love to see the Saints bring in some more to really open up Chris Olave and allow him to take over and become even better as a wide receiver. Now, name a player that you think the Saints should bring in this offseason. Whether it's draft, trade, free agency, let me know your thoughts. I've seen some people say Carnell Tate. I've seen some people say Jordan Tyson. I've seen some people say Brian Thomas Jr. Who knows? Maybe we bring back Rashid Shaheed. That would personally be really cool to me. It's not going to happen, but we're going to keep talking about it until it's impossible. My name is Trizzy Trace Gerard. You're watching Saints Now by Chat Sports. Appreciate you for tuning in to today's video. If you want more content by fans, for fans, click the sub button down below and subscribe for 100% free every day. You will get Saints videos. My name's Trizzy. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time. Boom. There's one down. What'd you guys think? Was that a fun one? Did you guys feel informed, entertained?
I feel like we should pay Chris Olave. That's what I learned in that video.
Yep. That is going to be fun. All righty, I'm seeing some mailbag questions coming in. I like it. Shone says, I miss Shaheed. I do too. He did suffer a concussion, but
Saints dodged a bullet. We saw it coming.
We won the trade.
Not wrong, just early.
Yep. They knew it was going to happen inevitably. He is 27 too. He's a little bit, he's old. But it is what it is. Alrighty, we're going to get into our next one, 2026 free agents. Who would like to talk about free agency? Raise your hand. LSU guy says Ayuk.
I don't know if I want.
I don't think I want Brandon Ayuk. I don't think I want that cancer in my life.
The talent of Brandon Ayuk.
Yes.
One thing.
If I could have the talent of Brandon Ayuk without the head case and without the issues, I would be totally okay with it. He's just a distraction. I don't want it. T. Higgins might be fun. George Pickens could be fun.
See,
I just
George
have a hard
Pickens might
time.
be another guy.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that the Cowboys will let George Pickens go, though, because he's been so good with them.
Oh, if they do let him go, everybody start looking at Jerry Jones again like, okay, you traded Micah Parsons, so you had more money to pay guys like George Pickens.
And then you didn't pay him. Yeah.
Well, what the hell?
Exactly. T. Higgins is a popular one in the chat. That would be a fun one. I could get jiggy with that.
It'd be fun, but would the Bengals do it? With
That's
Joe
the
Burrow
thing.
Already kind of pissed off.
That's the
Are we
thing.
going to trade the receiver that he was vouching for?
Yeah, that's kind of a good point. Takes two to tango.
Yeah.
Got to think about that. Got to think about it. I'm really, 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 really excited for this game this weekend. I think we might beat the. Falcons by 40.
Oh, we'll drop 50 on them.
The defense is playing so good now. There's no doubt in my mind that we're gonna be crushing them.
Can we actually get 5 more weeks? I think we make the playoffs. We get 5 more weeks.
Yeah, I think we get 3 more weeks when we make the playoffs, dude. Give us each divisional opponent one more time. Give us each divisional opponent one more time, and I think we would run the table.
Roger Goodell.
Roger Goodell, give us a chance to do it. Roger Goodell.
We'll get AI to make it look like you're doing.
We'll make it look like you're doing crazy shit, dude. What about CeeDee Lamb?
Again, I don't think he's going to be on the market.
It takes 2 to tango, and that's going to cost you a lot. I don't think you need to bring in an alpha. I think you need to bring in somebody that can be supportive. I don't think you need – you got your wide receiver 1 in Chris Olave. Maybe you go get another guy. I don't know. My point being, if you do that, I'd rather draft a Cardell Tate or something. I don't want to – or is it Malachi Lemon? Malachi Lemon, yeah. This USC guy. I don't necessarily want to trade multiple first-round picks when I could just use one.
What about a seasoned veteran that has been at the top of the game before and can still teach Chris Olave some things? What about that?
Are you talking about CeeDee Lamb?
No, I was talking about Michael Thomas.
Shut up, dude. We're not bringing back Michael Thomas.
We got rid of the problem. He didn't like Derek Carr. He's gone. He didn't like Dennis Allen. He's gone.
Pete Carmichael gone. The only guy still here is Mickey and Gale.
We can get rid of them. Todd Graves by the team.
Exactly. All right, let's get into the free agents. We're getting off the rails here. Time to talk some free agency. Week 18, so we're going to look a little bit ahead into the offseason because this time next week we're going to be full-blown offseason mode. So we're going to be talking about what the Saints need to do to address the needs on their roster. We're going to talk about how they can fix things, how they can build the roster around. Oh, my God. I love how loyal Saints fans are.
See the vision.
I love how loyal Saints fans are. It's truly one of those things that, there is no fan base like the Who Dat Nation, and that's why I love them. We're not bringing back Michael Thomas. I'll tell you that right now. Ooh. I like Tate's sideline catches. Yeah. Sean says I'm all in for bringing Michael Thomas. Dustin, I agree with Lopez. All right. Well, let's talk about free agents that actually could be re-signed to the Saints. Right here, right now on Saints Now by Chat Sports. Yeah. Here in Saints Now by Chat Sports, we're diving into the list of free agents that the New Orleans Saints need to make a decision on in 2026. We're going to list all of the players. I believe it's 18 total guys. And then we're going to go through the guys that I think New Orleans should bring back. I'm going to have my priority list, my guys that are on the back burner, and then my, dream scenario wish list. So let's start off first, guys, just by running through the entire list of free agents. You can list Taysom Hill, Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, Foster Moreau. Those guys are all Saints legends. Foster Moreau a little bit less so, but still a Louisiana legend nonetheless. I think that there's decisions to be made on all 4 of those players that are going to be pretty big for the future of this franchise. Julian Blackmon, a guy that the Saints brought in after Tyrann Mathieu retired during training camp. He got hurt in week 1 against the Cardinals, but I was really impressed with what he did early in his career. Dylan Radins, the offensive guard who has now taken over as a starter since Trevor Penning got traded. Alontae Taylor, he's a player that the Saints have to make a decision on, and he's somebody I think could have a lot of interest this offseason, so you better make it quick. Luke Fortner, the player that you traded for, the center. You sent Colin Saunders to the Jags. They sent you Luke Fortner in the preseason. Jonathan Bullard, Will Clapp, he got hurt in the preseason. Ugo Amadi, he's been around for quite a while. Michael Davis, Chris Rumpf, John Ridgway, the Arkansas legend. I personally wouldn't mind bringing him back. He's a pretty good run stopper, good in the defensive line, and pretty nice rotational guy. Also, maybe I'm a little biased because Woo Pig. But in terms of exclusive rights free agents, you got Rajon Wright, Isaiah Stallbird, Zaire Mitchell-Payton, and Kai Kroger. I'm going to go ahead and say on this list, please do not bring back Kai Kroger. I am not trying to be rude when I say this, but he is quite literally the worst punter in the league, and I don't want anything to do with him next year. He had a punt go less than 20 yards this year and last week, and then he had another one. It was like 30-something yards. It was terrible. It was just awful. No, just bring me a new punter. But name a player the Saints have to bring back. I'm going to say, if I had to pick one, Alontae Taylor, And I'll also say Demario Davis because I'm going to cheat a little bit. But I'm going to say Alontae Taylor, Demario Davis. Those are guys that, no question about it, should be brought back. Now let's dive into my list of players. Full list. We're going to go through my priority guys first, and then we're going to dive into the extra guys. Now, Demario Davis, as I said, he's a player I would 100% be willing to bring back this offseason. I know that he is old, but dang it, this guy ages like a fine wine. He is playing at a career level. He is playing very, very good football. Does not matter how old he is. I think that he's somebody that is a culture builder. He's somebody that helps this team. And quite frankly, I think that he's a key part of this team. And he's been through this roster, and he's been through it all with this team. He's helped install the Brandon Staley defense. He's been a huge factor of it. And quite frankly, why make another need if you don't need it? Like, you got Danny Stutzman in the mix. Maybe you trade away Pete Werner. Maybe you see what's happening there. You cut him. I don't know. But I would be totally okay with bringing back Demario Davis, considering he's still playing at a very high level at 36 years old. Alontae Taylor is probably the biggest decision that the Saints are going to have to make. He is a player that's 27 years old. He's in the last year of his rookie contract. And as a former second-round pick, New Orleans did invest in him pretty heavily in the draft. But I think that he's somebody who is going to expect a decent contract. I'm not going to say he's going to break the bank, but like $18-20 million per year, that doesn't seem too outrageous for a cornerback. And he's probably, if not the top, one of the top cornerbacks in the free agent market. So if you don't make a decision on him quick and you do give him the ability to test the free agency market, I fear that other teams will outbid the Saints. And personally, I'm all for keeping Alontae Taylor around. I know that he lacks the consistency. I know there's problems here and there, but look, I'm all for it. Isaiah Stallbird, I think that he's a player the Saints absolutely need to bring back. He has been lightning in a bottle. This guy, whenever he's rushing the passer, shoots out like a cannon, almost to a fault. He over-pursues sometimes, but look, this dude is insane, and I love having him as a part of the defense. You don't need to pay him a ton of money. I am 100% okay with making him a part of the depth and rotation for the linebacker room. Isaiah Stallbird should be a part of the New Orleans Saints defense, and honestly probably have a bigger role next season. Julian Blackmon, I'm all in on bringing him back. As I said earlier, we got a limited sample size of what he was capable of doing, but Justin Reed loved playing with him. No disrespect to Jonas Sinker, but I honestly just think you could sign Julian Blackmon to be a backup. I think that he's somebody who could be a rotational player and be a fairly high-level rotational player. I'm not trying to take Jonas Sinker off the field. Justin Reed, I'm not trying to take him off the field all the time, but like you can rotate him in and out and give the 27-year-old a chance to go make some plays, and I think that you wouldn't have to pay him all that much money anyway. Chris Rumpf, I really like the idea of keeping him around. He has the familiarity in the Brandon Staley scheme. He knows how to succeed in it. He's been good. I'm not going to say that he's my number one priority by any means, but he's definitely a player the Saints should consider bringing back. I don't think that he's been a waste of money, and quite frankly, he's not going to break the bank either. That's kind of a big theme of a lot of these guys. You're not going to have to pay Isaiah Stallbird, Julian Blackmon, or Chris Rumpf a ton of money, but you can still get decent production on a fairly team-friendly contract. Now, let's go back to Alontae Taylor. Why would you pay Alontae Taylor? Why would I pay Alontae Taylor? I think he's a weapon. I think, quite frankly, he's a chess piece, and I think he's a perfect fit in Brandon Staley's defense. I know that he does lack consistency. I know that he gets burnt in coverage. I understand that he sometimes drops picks, 4 of them this past week, three almost picks, 4 PBUs, that's same thing. But I cannot sit here and say that he's going to be super easily replaceable. His versatility is off the charts. The leadership that he has implemented is very, very noticeable. He's somebody, as Lopez said, is a culture piece to this defense. And quite honestly, I have no interest in letting him get out of here anytime soon. I would prefer to keep Alontae Taylor. I don't mind paying him some good money. I don't mind paying your young players and your young talent, because if you invest in your players and you make smart investments, then you can build a good football team. And I have no problem keeping number 1 in New Orleans. He's also expressed sticking around. We know there's been extension talks, so we're going to have to see what happens ultimately. Would you bring back Alontae Taylor? Type pay or type walk down in the comment section. If you were Mickey Loomis, put on your GM hat and share your thoughts of what you would do with number 1. Now, another player that I would consider bringing back is Dylan Radins. I'm not going to say that he has been amazing. I don't think he's been a total liability, but you do need to upgrade at the guard position. So if you brought Dylan Radins back, again, cheaper contract, make him a backup, go and find a better guard. I don't think he's been horrible as a backup. I'm not sprinting to put pen to paper, though, with his contract. It's just kind of one of those things. You do need offensive line depth, and you do need offensive linemen, and I think the familiarity there will be beneficial. Will Clapp, he's a little bit older. I don't know if he would be interested in coming back, but maybe that's a guy that you could also have the same conversation with. Now, let's get to my lower priority list. So these aren't necessarily guys that I'm, like, sprinting to bring back, but I do have a certain level of interest in bringing most of these players back. Luke Fortner, you guys remember he was traded for in the preseason, and since Eric McCoy suffered his injury, he's been holding it down at the center position. There's certainly been highs. There's certainly been lows. Look, he's a backup. I don't think he's been the worst backup center in the world. I think he's been the best backup center in the world. I don't mind trying to upgrade if you want to go through the draft and go that route. But I also could see a situation where he's available in free agency after the draft. So I don't think it's one of those things where you have to really spend too much time thinking about it. Maybe you want to bring him back. Maybe you don't. At the end of the day, I do think that upgrading the center depth is something that the Saints should do. Now, John Ridgeway, the defensive lineman out of Arkansas. Johnny M., hope you're watching. I want to bring him back selfishly because I went to Arkansas, and it would be fun to have a Razorback on the Saints. But also, I think that he's been a player that's actually been fairly productive anytime he's been on the field. He's somebody who's good at stopping the run. He's somebody who clogs up the middle for the defensive line. And, I think that he's somebody that you don't need to be a super ultra contributor. He's somebody you can just kind of have around in the background and rotate him in when you need him to. He provides nice depth. He filled in well for Brian Brzee this past week. And look, he's 26 years old. I have no problem with paying him a cheaper contract. Again, lower priority, but I do have a level of interest in keeping John Ridgeway in New Orleans. You did trade for him a couple years ago. Remember that. Now, Ugo Amadi, he's a guy that's been in New Orleans for quite some time. And he's somebody that, as time has passed, like earlier in his tenure with New Orleans, he was much more heavily featured in the defense, partially due to injuries in the cornerback room, in the defensive back room as a whole. But I also think with Ugo Amadi, you've found better depth. You've found better players. You've drafted guys. So, if you want to bring him back for, the practice squad or bring him into training camp, let him compete and whatnot, again, no problem with it. That's why he's a lower priority guy. I have a level of interest. There is familiarity there. He knows the team. He has the chemistry with the DB room. He has played in Brandon Staley's defense now for a year. So, I don't think that's a bad thing. But, again, lower priority. Now, Taysom Hill I am going to put on this list. I'm not going to sit here and say that Taysom Hill is a guy the Saints need to bring back. I'm also not going to sit here and say that he's somebody that the Saints need to avoid bringing back. It's a kind of tough conversation for Taysom Hill, in my opinion, because with him, it's very blatantly obvious that he has lost his step. He has lost the juice, if you will. He's lost his fastball. He's clearly not making the same impact that he used to. That is okay, by the way. But I do think when it comes to Taysom Hill, he would end up retiring. I don't think that it's a bad thing if you want to bring him back for the special teams role for a couple plays here and there. If you do bring him back, he cannot be a highly featured part of the offense. I also don't see a world where he's going to go and play elsewhere. I could see him just saying, I'm going to retire rather than going and playing at Denver. I know there's a lot of buzz around that. But look, with Taysom Hill, he's not making the same impact. I think he just straight up retires. But if he does want to come back and wants to be on a super cheap deal, I'm not going to say no, but I am going to say it's going to be a very cheap contract with a lot of incentive-based things, and not necessarily going to say he is going to have a massive impact anymore. Just going to say it like that. Now, if you guys want to get some Saints hoodies, in case you guys didn't get any or enough gear for the holidays, it's getting pretty chilly out here. You need to get some new gear, up to 60% off, chatsports.com/Saints hoodie. We got all sorts of awesome merch available for you. I love this hoodie right here with Sir Saint on it. I think it's absolutely fresh. Lopez, he's got himself a gold one on the way. I know that he loves it. I know he's excited to rock it. And I know that I'm excited to see what hoodies you get. So click the link down in the comments or description of this video if you would like to get a new Saints hoodie. And if you do get one, send me a DM rocking your new gear, because I'd love to see everyone who takes advantage of our sale, 60% off, up to it. Go check it out. Let's get to the luxury list to end things off. Cam Jordan. I'm going to put him on the luxury list because like Taysom Hill, there's a decision to be made whether or not he retires. But why do I have him on the luxury list versus the low priority? Taysom Hill, I don't think has the same or has a high impact. Cam Jordan still does have a high impact. Foster Moreau, I also have him on the luxury list. He does not have a major impact, but he's a culture guy through and through. He's a Louisiana native. He's somebody that I think has developed leadership in the offense, and he has a lot of respect in the locker room, and I don't think he's going to cost you a ton of money. Again, tight end depth, adding players. You don't need to give yourself a ton of new holes on the roster. Like, bring back your tight end 2 or tight end 3. Like, that's okay. It doesn't matter. That's fine. Because Juwan Johnson has been absolutely awesome this year. But, going to Cam Jordan, like, it's really, really specific for him. He has been ultra productive. In year 15, he has had a resurgence. 43 tackles, 9.5 sacks, 10 tackles for loss. The guy is playing at an unbelievable level. And it's crazy because over the last couple of years, he's taken a massive step back. But I am all in bringing back Cam Jordan. If he wants to run it back, let's do it. If he doesn't want to, I totally understand. I have no problem, though, paying Cam Jordan whatever he wants to stick around. Not over the – don't go ridiculous. But, like, if he wants to take a team-friendly contract, come back, I'm all for it. Foster Moreau, look, with him it's a different conversation because, like I said, it's the culture. It's the off-the-field impact. He does have an impact. He's good with the blocking situation. He's kind of a better true tight end than Juwan Johnson is. But he obviously isn't a massive contributor. He's had the injuries that he's dealt with. He's had now 3 injuries that led him to – or the 3 major injuries, at least that put him on IR in 2 years. You finished the season last year – or I guess 2. But you finished the season last year on getting hurt against the Bucs in the last couple of minutes of the season. And then you didn't get back into the season this year because you're on IR for the first few weeks or on the PUP list or whatever. And then now he has another injury where he's going to be out for the remainder of the season, like got placed on IR. So you do have to have the conversation around the injuries with Foster Moreau. But do you bring him back? Do you not? I don't think it's the worst idea in the world to bring him back. I think he's fine with the locker room. I think he's fine with the culture. But, again, it's kind of a wish list. It's kind of like a luxury list of, like, it'd be sick, but I don't get it. Or I don't blame him if they don't want to. Now, will Cam Jordan retire this offseason, or will he come back? Let me know in the comments section if you think 94 is going to hang him up or if he's going to run it back for one more season. My name is Trizzy Trace Gerard. You've been watching Saints Now by Chat Sports. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comment section which wide receivers you want to bring back. Drop a like. Or wide receivers. Free agents you want to bring back. Drop a like on this video. And y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time. Man, that was not my finest performance. I'm going to keep it real with the Chief. Kind of like got off the rails there at the end.
Hey, you know what the best part is when you realize the problem. That's step number 1 in fixing the problem.
No doubt.
You're not going to lie to
I just I know I'm better than what I just did. I don't think it was bad, but I know I'm better than I'm better than the performance I just put out there. I strive for greatness. Will not apologize for that. All righty. We're going to get into the last segment, Breece Hall / Mailbag. If you want to get on the show, #Saints, send in a super chat if you would like to be featured on the program. We do have a handful of questions already in there, but if you would like to join it as well, make sure you use #Saints. And if you do send in a super chat, we'll spend a couple extra minutes on your question, go a little bit deeper in terms of the analysis and dive into it a little bit further. And you get to skip the line. It's like a little flash pass, if you will. Cam Jordan, 1-year playoff Super Bowl. Why is Tet still favored for Rookie of the Year?
Because Vegas don't know ball.
Yeah, because Vegas is shucking dumb, dude. They don't know shuck.
Shucking idiots.
These guys are shucking losers. We draft a corner. Good question, Chris Holder.
Use #Saints.
Use #Saints so we could talk about it. Mansour Lane, that would be fun.
That's it. If we keep winning, we're going to be in that territory in the first round.
What round should we consider targeting offensive linemen? I like it. Julian Neal from Arkansas would be nice. Anyone from Arkansas would be nice. They're the best football team in the country. What are you talking about?
I'll give you the best 3-win football team in the country. Isn't that what they finished with? 3?
2.
Oh, my bad.
They were 11 points away from 7 wins, though, so don't get it twisted. They were the best 2-win team in the country.
You know what, though? I bet you they could beat the 3-win teams
They legitimately could beat most of the other shitty, or not the other shitty. They could beat a lot of college football teams. They just couldn't beat the ones that they had on their schedule. Like, I genuinely think if you put them in a Big Ten schedule, they would have had a better season. I think if you put them in the ACC, they would have had a better season.
Might have won the ACC.
That's what I'm saying. Like, ridiculous. What do you think about drafting a running back first round? I wouldn't mind Jeremiah Love, but I'm also like,
I think he's the only first round running back talent.
Only one, and I would also say proceed with caution. Like, make sure you have the other pieces there too.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you'll see what has gone on with Ashton Genty, where it's like, great player, but bad situation around him, and he doesn't even have a chance.
Yeah. And when you draft a running back early, clock is ticking. That shelf life isn't there. You are a ticking time bomb.
Frank Gore Jr., is he a sneaky good running back for depth? Pretty sure he's on like a practice squad somewhere. No. If we're talking about signing practice squad running backs, I'm just going to go ahead and say keep Audric Estime. No. That's what I would prefer to do. I'm not trying to bring in new, I'm good. I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to adding running backs 4 and 5, you know.
He is on the Bills right now.
He's on the Bills right now. Has he been any good?
Has 0 stats this season.
Nice. Yeah, I'm good.
Let's see if he has any preseason stats.
What possession would I draft first pick? That's a good question. Tyler, use hashtag Saints and I'll answer it in the mailbag. We got to get Max Crosby on the other side of Chase. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That would be pretty cool.
I wonder how much Max Crosby would cost trade-wise.
What?
I wonder what a Max Crosby trade would
See,
cost.
His contract is fairly...
It's a pretty
very
team-friendly
tradable.
contract.
It's a very tradable contract. Yeah. It's like $30 million or something less than that a year or something.
Yeah, I think it's more like backloaded.
Yeah, it's a very backloaded contract. I was talking to Mitch a little bit about it. I think he said that it would cost a couple firsts or something. I was like, could probably give him a first, Rattler, and like a fifth, and you're probably good.
Dude, Rattler would probably be the best quarterback on the Raiders right now.
Yes, he would be. You could 100% do that, and I'd probably get it done. Spencer Rattler for Max Crosby straight up. Who says no? Most valuable position in sports for one of the most valuable edge rushers in sports.
Yeah, and supposedly he has a knee injury right now, so we're taking...
Yeah, we're taking the hit. He's the injured one.
We're taking hurt product.
Spencer Rattler also was playing at elite level, according to some people.
Yeah.
Duh. Alrighty, Johnny M. Great question. We'll get to it in the mailbag.
So we got 4 super chats, so we're going to start the mailbag off with those 4 guys. 2 of them actually, LSU guy.
A reminder, if you want to get on the program, hashtag Saints or Super Chat. If you don't use hashtag Saints, then you will not get on the show. And also, we say it every week, but I always have to say it again. Don't just send a message that's hashtag Saints. It's not going to get on the show. It also doesn't matter if you sent a message 2 minutes ago and then add it later. Hashtag Saints. Then your question.
There's a bunch of people in the chat that have done it right. Look at Denola Chop Podcast. I saw he just had a good one.
Yeah.
Or he did it right. I haven't read the question.
Are we good on questions now?
Yeah, we should be with the 4 super chats.
Let's rock it. Let's rock it. Let's talk Breece Hall, and let's answer some questions. Because I want to win games. That's why we're signing Breece Hall. Remember when the Saints lost a game in December? Oh, wait, neither do I. Yeah, it's been a whole year since the Saints lost a game in December.
We have rotated around the sun since the Saints have lost their last game in December.
Yeah.
We made 1 full rotation.
Yeah, since the last December lost. That's wild, dude.
Yeah, we own December.
Saints are dangerous in December. That's a fact. All righty, let's get into the last segment of today's show. Lopez, whenever. Hold on. Oh, yawn. Sorry, guys. All right, let's party. Yep. Should the Saints sign Breece Hall and add an absolute stud? to their offense. We're going to talk about it here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. And then on the back half of this video, we're going to get into a mailbag where the Golden Gang had questions. I got answers. And if you want to be a part of the live content and you want to get more videos, make sure you subscribe to Saints Now by Chat Sports, turn on your noti bell, and join the Golden Gang. Now, there is no doubt about it. The New Orleans Saints need to improve their ground game. When it comes to the rushing offense, it has been absolutely lackluster this year. And there is a handful of factors as to why, and I think that it is important to add context. One, Alvin Kamara hasn't been the same player he was when he was available. Two, Kendre Miller goes down early. He was heavily rotated into the offense at the beginning of the season, placed on IR earlier in the season. 3, Devin Neal showed some pop, showed some good things, but, still ended up on the IR. He's the RB3. There's a lot to see there. There's a lot left to be desired in terms of what do we think about, and jury's still out. The Saints need to improve their ground game. You cannot keep relying on this Taysom Hill thing. You cannot keep relying on Tyler Shuck just bailing you out. You got to improve the rushing attack if you want to really take this offense to the next level. Now, in terms of how they rank out, not good. Not good at all. It's really, really funny because the Saints offense in 2025 has been a lot better since Tyler Shuck took over, but I will say when it comes to the rushing attack, it's still something that's been non-existent. Now, how can you improve that? 1, better offensive line. 2, better running back talent. So 1, let's invest in the running back department and go sign in Breece Hall. I think that would make a lot of sense. 2, let's bring in some better guards. Let's increase the talent on the offensive line. Now, Breece Hall is somebody who can do it everything. He's an every down back. I think that he's somebody who can immediately replace Alvin Kamara because I'm not trying to knock AK-41. He's one of my favorite players on the roster. It's just very clear that he is kind of in the wind down of his career. But with Breece Hall, there's still a lot of untapped potential there. He can contribute in the receiving department. He can contribute on the ground game. He can block. He can do whatever you want at a very, very high level. And quite honestly, he's somebody that will be drawing a lot of interest in the free agency market. One of the top free agents available in all of the entire free agency class, and hands down the number 1 running back available. He will draw a lot of interest. And 1, he'll draw a lot of the Jets, I could imagine, want to keep him, and they may want to try to pay him. I don't know what their situation is. I don't pay attention to the Jets all that much. But I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to bring him back. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs wanted to go and sign him. They were interested in him at the trade deadline. There was a lot of teams that are going to want the services of a great running back in Breece Hall, only 24 years old. Of course there's going to be guys in teams that want to get his services and bring them to their home stadium. Now, in 2026, New Orleans does have 4 running backs under contract, so you do have the ability to run it back with the guys you currently have. I think Audric Estime has 100% earned the spot on the roster, at least as a practice squad guy, because he has been sneaky good for the Saints offense. He's been kind of an unsung hero over the last few weeks for this team, and especially in the game against who do we just beat? I'm brain fart. I'm having a brain fart. Oh, my God. It's so far into the season. Yes, Titans this past week and the Jets the week before. I was like, hold on, I'm having a brain fart. Against the Titans and the Jets specifically, he's been really, really impressive. He had a touchdown, almost 100 yards against the Titans. He made an impact. He's been doing a lot of good things as a receiving back. We talked about Kendre Miller. We talked about Devin Neal. My thing with Kendre specifically is I really believe in the player, but I don't necessarily know if I trust him because the best ability is availability, and that's a thing that he's really struggled with throughout his career. I love Alvin Kamara on the latter portion of his career. Devin Neal, a lot to still be learned about him. Jury's still out. We don't necessarily know because it's a very small sample size for the 6th-round rookie, but I think that there's definitely something there. I personally have no problem signing Breece Hall. I think it would be an instant upgrade and make this offense severely scary. What do you think? should the Saints sign him? Type sign, type pass. Let me know in the comment section. We did film this as a part of our live show, so I'm going to give a couple shout-outs to those of you who did tune into it. If you guys want to be a part of the live show in the future, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications. I Love Football says they should sign him. Kyron, my guy, says that the Saints should sign Breece Hall. I also see Tyler saying facts. I see Saints Gumbo saying Miller, Estime, Devin Neal. That's a good group, bro, and that's a young and cheap squad. I do agree there. Jerry G, a legend. Cairo, they both are saying sign Breece Hall as well. Well, there you go. You're hearing from some of the Who Dat Nation. You heard my take. Now it's time to share your thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to start the Q&A portion of today's video, but first things first, got to thank today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. This episode of Saints Now by Chat Sports brought to you by the #1 daily fantasy app in the whole world, and whether you're starting a new routine or making player picks for the first time, trying something new can be hard, but in life and on Prize Picks, it always feels good to be right. With high-pressure playoff matchups every weekend and elite hoops action almost every night, the action never stops, and Prize Picks lets you take control. And how you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose the Flex Play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the Power Play. No matter how you play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your ball knowledge to the test. And I want to see Tyler Shuck win Offensive Rookie of the Year. So for Sunday, Week 18. The last game of the season, heartbreaking. I know. I'm really sad that this year's over. Funny, 6 weeks ago we were saying, get us out of here. But now I'm like, man, kind of want to see more of it. Anyway, back to the topic. Ted McMillan. I'm trying to make sure that he does not get the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. He was terrible this past week. I want him to be terrible against the Falcons. We're playing the Falcons. Against the Buccaneers. Tyler Shuck, though, I think is going to be shucking the Falcons. So I'm taking the more on Shuck, taking the less on Tet. If you want to fade these picks, if you want to tail the picks, do it on Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use promo code CLNS. You'll get $50 on lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Click the link in the comments or description of this video to get started today. Shout out to Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Braxton sending in a $2 super chat. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for supporting the show. Do you think going into next year we will be good? I really do. I think when it comes to the New Orleans Saints, it's fair to say they're a team that has improved in a drastic way over the last few weeks specifically. But if you go back to Week 1 versus Week 18 now, or you go back to Week 18 last season to Week 18 now, like they are insanely better. They are a much, much better football team. I also think we shouldn't get too far ahead of ourselves and say, oh, we're going to go and win 10, 12, 15 games. But I would not be surprised if we won double-digit games. How we construct the roster and how Kellen Moore goes about this offseason is going to be really impactful for that. I'm really eager to see how he attacks this offseason. But I do think next year there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic. And for what it's worth, there is no doubt in my mind we will 100% be winning the NFC South next year. LSU guy, I would love Brian Thomas Jr. to the Saints. Brian Thomas Jr., this super chat coming in from him. Lopez, you're our resident LSU guy. I want to hear your thoughts first. I will say, for what it's worth, Jacoby Myers got extended. The Jags traded for Jacoby Myers at the deadline. They gave him a 3-year extension. There's now questions to be had. Is Brian Thomas Jr. expendable? He wasn't at the deadline, but things have kind of changed since the deadline. Lopez, I want to hear your thoughts here.
I think Brian Thomas would kind of solve the question that we've been having at wide receiver. He kind of does everything on paper that we've been looking for. Mm-hmm. Coming in, or about 6 weeks ago, like you were talking earlier, we were saying Saints need a big body receiver. He's an athletic freak.
Yep.
He's giant. Now, do we need a speed receiver? He runs a 4.3, 340. Brian Thomas, we saw what he can do in his rookie year.
Yep.
If we can pry him away from Jacksonville, I don't see why we wouldn't, unless they're asking for like an insane haul. But yeah. I'd give up a second-round pick for Brian Thomas Jr. right now. Yeah,
I think that he would definitely be somebody who could be complimentary to Chris Olave. Obviously, a Louisiana native. I think it would be really fun to bring in the LSU guy. And honestly, he's somebody who could make a good impact on this team. Like, depending on the cost, maybe I could be down. But, like, if we're just talking about am I interested in bringing Brian Thomas Jr. to the Saints, yeah, for sure. I would love that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But, again, if it's trade a second-round pick for BTJ or use a second-round pick on a receiver, that's where the kind of question gets interesting because then it's like, well, it's who? What is it? It's a fun game to play either way. Johnny M. Will the Stutzman get his first sack against the Dirty Birds? I sure would love to see that happen. That would be pretty cool if we got to see Danny Stutzman end the year on a sack. Gotten close a couple times. I think that he's somebody who needs to be more heavily featured in the defense. But all in all, I don't know if he'll get a sack, but I'm rooting for it, Johnny. Appreciate your super chat, brother. LSU guy, another super chat. We got to get Max Crosby on the other side of Chase Young. How interested are y'all in Max Crosby? That could be pretty cool. I am not going to overpay for Max Crosby's services, but could you imagine Max Crosby and Chase Young pass rush? That would be absolutely insane. And look, maybe you could combine, make a package, include like Spencer Rattler or something, give him a quarterback to at least try to roll with. Couple picks, I don't know. It would cost you a lot. His contract is very backloaded, so it is a tradable contract for the Raiders. I am very curious, though, what the cost would be. I'm not necessarily sure the Saints would be buyers in this regard, but that would be a pretty fun duo. Danola Chop, what's going on, man? What round should we consider targeting O-linemen? I'm going to say not the first round. I think you can go any round. If you go, I understand the importance of offensive linemen. I want to make that explicitly clear here. But I also am tired of using first-round picks on offensive linemen. And no disrespect to the O-line position, but I want to draft somebody whose jersey I could buy. I want to draft somebody who I can get excited about on game day. I want to draft somebody who I can see make an immediate impact and make plays and get on the highlight reel. I want a rookie that people are going to get jazzed about. I think that'd be really, really fun. Add a weapon in the first round, and then, anywhere else, I don't mind taking an offensive lineman. I think that's definitely a need. I love football. Do you think the trade rumors around Kendre Miller could come back with Audric Esme playing well and Devin Neal also stepping up? What does that mean for Miller's future with the team? Good question out of football. With Kendre Miller, it's going to come down to whether or not he's healthy. Because I do think that there are going to be teams weary of his health status and his lack of availability. I think that's definitely going to hurt the trade value that he has, if there is any there. He is a promising player. He has a lot of pop, and when he's on the field, that guy's lightning in a bottle. But, I do think it's fair to say Audric Esme has been very impressive as an RB3. I wouldn't mind bringing him back. Devin Neal definitely stepped up in a big way. I think that he's somebody who definitely has a bright future in Kellen Moore's offense. But for Kendre Miller, I don't necessarily think that he's somebody the Saints need to shop. However, if you do draft a Jeremiah Love or you do add a Breece Hall or something, I could see that being the case where they either end up cutting or trading him. Mike Nintendo Master, what are some of the big contracts the Saints can move off of? Let me pull up the list here. And, of course, Google's slow. I'm going slow. So, Saints cap table. Mike, always asking the questions that I got to do a little bit of research on first. Who are some of the big contracts you can move off of? Alvin Kamara could retire. You don't have Cam Jordan. He's a free agent. Demario Davis is a free agent. You're not going to move off of Chase Young. Carl Granderson, maybe you want to move off of. Cesar Ruiz, maybe you want to move off of. You're not going to move off of Juwan Johnson. Alontae Taylor, you'll pay, potentially. Nathan Shepard, maybe move off of. Pete Werner is somebody that you definitely could shed some cash with if you want to potentially move money there. I don't have the full information in terms of all the monies, but those are some players that you could make decisions on and save some money. Saints, #Saints, would you rather get a wide receiver in free agency or the draft? I would rather draft one because wide receivers in free agency cost you a lot of money. I'd rather just draft one straight up, and plus then you get to have them for a rookie deal for a few years, and you get to have them under your control for cheap, and you get to develop them and build the chemistry and kind of mold him into the player you want it to be. Whereas, if you bring in a free agent, it's hard to teach a new dog or an old dog new tricks. I would prefer to just go and add draft first, second round. I'm all in on that. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to today's video. We talked about signing Breece Hall, and we answered questions from the Who Dat Nation. My name is Trizzy Trace Gerard. If you want to be a part of the conversation next time, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. We go live on game days. We go live on Mondays afternoons at 3 p.m. Central Time. We will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for supporting the show, and y'all stay golden. How did your fiance react to the jersey? I don't have a fiance.
Or do you?
I don't have a fiance yet. Still looking.
Does Maddie know?
Still looking, yeah. Maddie knows I am not engaged yet, but still looking for a fiance. If anyone knows one, let me know. If anyone knows where one is, let me know. She loved the jersey. She loved it. She was really excited. That's the hard-hitting questions that we need to answer today, for sure.
That's why we saved him.
Yeah,
After the cut.
for sure. Why would we move off of Granderson? Free up money? I don't know. Just because? If you draft somebody? I don't know. Mike Nintendo Master asked the question. Why don't you give him the gripe? A December to remember. Yep, Saints went undefeated in December. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Love to see it. Alrighty, guys, we are going to hop off here. I got to go get dinner with my folks. Lopez, got to go do something. I don't know what he does on Monday nights. Probably, go drink, a bunch of Colt 45s or something. I don't know. He's going to be drink a bunch of malt liquor and watch Monday Night Football. Who knows? Falcons are playing tonight, so if you guys want to hate watch them, highly encourage you. This is actually kind of like a Saints hate Super Bowl. Rams versus Falcons. It's like the good hate bowl for the Saints. So.
I hope they all die.
Yeah, I hope. I'm rooting for the meteor. I'm rooting for Bane to destroy the stadium
Collapse
on the kickoff. Yeah, that's what I'm rooting for. All righty, guys, we're going to hop on out of here. My name is Trizzy. That's Loco Lopez. Appreciate you for tuning in live here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. Content coming at you every day this week. We will see you live next time on Game Day.